The early reviews have returned. Thank God for my VPN. It's another international tour. It's going to be one of those months. WWE is going to be overseas, not the entire month of June, but they're going to be overseas for a bunch of different dates. So we're going to have some early reviews, and hopefully you guys are enjoying them as much as I am. Thank God for Barcelona. Those people, man, God bless them. God bless them. They did what they could. They really did. They did what they could to try to make this show. Without that crowd, it would have been basically, it would have felt like every other SmackDown that we have seen now over the last several weeks. I mean, look, when was the last time, honestly, I want you to really think hard about this. When was the last time that we saw a Damian Priest match on SmackDown that got the kind of reaction that his match got here on this show? It's been a while, especially a match against the MFTs of all people. And even that match got a reaction, or at least they were making noise on this show. So this was the go-home show to Clash in Italy, which is coming up on Sunday, which is also an early start. That's going to be 2 p.m. Eastern time. And it's a show with 5 matches, 2 of which are now in some degree of jeopardy of potentially being, I don't know if canceled is the right word for it, or they may have to come up with a plan B. Tribal Combat being one of them, and the Women's Intercontinental title match with Becky Lynch and Sol Ruca being the other, because Sol Ruca may or may not be injured. Becky Lynch has been cutting promos on her on social media, talking about her not being medically cleared. So apparently Sol Ruca, she will be there. She will be in Italy. She's either there or she's en route. But whether or not she has an actual injury, there was talk about that coming out of Saturday night's main event. On that botched Soul Snatcher spot, there might have been a leg injury. So we don't know 100% exactly what's going on there. Tribal Combat with Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu, that's a little dicier. Unfortunately, Jacob Fatu was injured in a street fight with Solo Sikoa last night at the WWE live event in Liverpool. And there was a report earlier from Mike Johnson, a PW Insider, because he was seen limping after the match. And so some people were just hoping maybe he was selling. Mike Johnson, a PW Insider, earlier, he confirmed that there is an injury. He didn't say how serious it is. He goes, he was injured. That was not him just selling. And then I saw also Corey Hayes, formerly of Bodyslam.net, now with the website False Finish, talking about it is a back injury, apparently. And WWE they're preparing in case they need to pivot, but they're not 100% sure that he won't be able to go. So again, 50-50, he may or may not be okay, but apparently it's a back injury of some kind. I mean, unless the man can't stand up on his own 2 feet. Knowing Jacob Fatu, I'm sure he will do everything in his power to be in that main event. This is the biggest match of his career coming up on Sunday. It would have to be a pretty terrible injury for him not to be in that Tribal Combat match. So we'll have to just monitor that, see if there's any news that develops tomorrow. Why was he working against Solo to begin with? Look, one of the few times they actually do live events is when they go on these international tours. I know they're having a summer tour this summer here in domestically, but typically the only time these days that they even do live events is when they're over in Europe or they're touring somewhere. So that's not really all that surprising. I agree with you, though. Did he need to be in a street fight with Solo Sikoa? Probably not. But anyway, that's that status update on him. But this was the go-home show. And I will say one of the segments that I think, maybe the only segment, frankly. Let me correct myself. The only segment on this show that really did what I thought was a good job on this go-home show of getting me more excited for a match that's on the card on Sunday was the closing segment. It was a face-to-face in the ring with Cody Rhodes and Gunther. I thought they did a good job of kind of going back and forth at each other and getting the anticipation raised for their WWE Championship match, which is opening the show, by the way. They are kicking off Clash in Italy, the first hour on ESPN. They are kicking off with a WWE title match. So I thought the closing segment tonight did a good job of that. I wish I could say the same for everything else on the show, but I can't. I'd be lying if I said I did. The only other SmackDown match that's on the card on Sunday is the Women's Championship match between Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill, and they didn't do anything on this show to get me any more or less excited to see that. So as these final go-home shows are concerned, they didn't do a whole hell of a lot outside of the main event. It was a very missable show, as most SmackDowns are. They did have a couple of good matches. We'll go through what those were. But otherwise, a very missable, very paint-by-numbers, typical episode of SmackDown. With the exception of the crowd in Barcelona, which was great all night. But let's talk about it. This was your Friday night. This is your Friday night. This is your Friday night SmackDown review. It is Friday, May 29th, 2026. I am the Solomonster. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I know it's not our usual time, so not everybody is going to be with us. Some people are watching the show as we speak because it just started 15 minutes ago on the USA Network. But for those of you who are with me, I welcome you. And please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like button. Let's get those likes up. Super chats are open. I want to hear from you guys. We had a pretty unbelievable night on Wednesday. Not anything that I was anticipating. We had an explosion here on Wednesday night of support. So I thank you for that. But yeah, super chats are open. I'll be reading your messages here a little bit later on, so go ahead and get them on in. How do you sleep at night in that super? Not well. Not well. Even when I'm not sick. I don't get enough sleep. That's the problem. I don't know how many years off my life I'm shaving by not getting enough sleep, but it's very, very bad. You need to get a certain amount of shut-eye every night. You gotta recharge the batteries. You gotta get your REM sleep, all that stuff. I'm terrible at that. Spin the wheel. I'm usually pretty good at this, though. Let's spin the wheel. Find out how many likes we need to do Be the Booker. Will there be a Be the Booker tonight? I don't know. It's gonna be up to you guys. 500. Yes. Alexander says a $500 super chat on Wednesday was insane. That was, but we go from $500 super chats to 500 likes. We're at 174 right now. Asuka is not happy about that. We're going to try, though. As I'm doing the review, you guys hit the like button and we'll see how close we can get. 500 is the goal. So now you know. All right, let's get into this here. Jade Cargill, I mentioned she's going to be challenging for the WWE Women's Championship on Sunday. She opened the show tonight, came out to the ring with Michin and B-Fab. Big heat for these three here in Barcelona. And she said that she was confused because the fans acted like she had something to prove, but she's one of one. Rhea Ripley ended up coming out to interrupt the party. She got the expected massive reaction. She reminded Jade that she beat her when it was just the two of them. And Jade said that B-Fab and Michin are with her because they want a piece of the power, whereas Rhea is with people who don't even like her. Cue Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Them were fighting words. So Charlotte and Alexa came out. Tons of Alexa chants. They were singing her name. I don't know what it was. Barcelona loved them some Alexa Bliss. Charlotte said that Jade has been in WWE for 5 minutes, but she acts like she's a Hall of Famer. She will be. She will be one day. She respects how far Jade has come, but she told her not to confuse her own hype for actual achievements. Alexa said that she's gone toe-to-toe with people in the ring and on the mic who are way better than Jade, and she warned her, don't make me embarrass you. So out comes Nick Aldis, the general manager, and he made a match between Jade and Alexa, which would come after this commercial break. And away we went. Outside of the hot crowd, very paint by numbers open to the show here. I don't know. I thought they would go with something a little more hype to get the fans going right at the beginning of the show. And then out walks Jade and Michin and B-Fab. I'm like, okay. Not the hot open I was expecting, but they did get a lot of heat. So we had Jade Cargill one-on-one with Alexa Bliss, and the fans were doing the ole, ole, ole chants at one point to rally behind Alexa. Bliss fan, I knew Bliss fan would chime in here. Do you think, Alexander, do you think Barcelona liked Alexa Bliss more than Bliss fan? No. No, I think that would be impossible. Bliss fan says, Alexa is the greatest female on the mic. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would concur. She's good. She's good. Are we talking all time? What are we talking about here? We talking about today? Or are we talking about all time? So Bliss tried a leap into a Rana off the apron. Jade, though, caught her and held on, ended up powerbombing her onto the barricade, heading into a break. Alexa mounted a comeback later on, including a modified natural selection. She went for the Sister Abigail DDT. Jade, though, countered out of it. Michin and BFAB, they ended up brawling off outside with Charlotte and Rhea, which left these two alone. Alexa went for Twisted Bliss. She ate the knees, though, on the way down, and Cargill put her down with Jaded for the win. I mean, you couldn't expect this to go any other way with her having a championship match in 48 hours. But then when the match was over, Jade went and retrieved the chair from underneath the ring. She brought it inside, laid it down flat, and she delivered a second Jaded, this time onto a chair. Charlotte and Rhea then ran back out. Little late to the party. And Jade bailed at that point. Now, before I go on, I have to say this. I noticed when Alexa took this bump onto the chair, right? The chair was flat. She took a Jaded onto the chair. She put her hands out. Her face and head never came close to connecting with the chair, right? So that's how that spot played out. And I see people on social media giving her shit for it. Apparently, she was taking a lot of heat for it on social media. And Alexa Bliss has taken her Twitter profile private. It's now locked. I guess because she was getting so much heat and so much shit from people on X that she decided to go private. And all I'm going to say about it is this. First of all, yeah, we know people are assholes on social media, right? We know this already. It's one thing to say, oh, the spot didn't look good because of whatever, but like some of the stuff you see online is just... it's just inhumane. And I will also point out to you that in Alexa Bliss, this is a woman with a history of A, concussions, and B, broken noses. So if I were Alexa Bliss, I'd put my fucking hands out too if Jade Cargill was trying to slam me face down onto a chair. So cut the bullshit. It's not that big of a deal. Did it look good? No, it didn't look that good, but who cares? Doesn't mean that you go online and give the woman shit. I can only imagine some of the messages that she was getting. At Lexi, that look like shit. You need to learn how to work. Yeah, you need to learn how to not slobber all over yourself when you speak. You fucking demon. The match was fine. It was enhanced by the crowd. Crowd was super into this. They were super into Alexa. I've always said, like, we're going to get this match first. We have to get this match first before we get the eventual match with Jade and Charlotte, which they've teased and teased and teased, and we still haven't gotten it. So that's the big match. I know Bliss fan would disagree, but Alexa Bliss was always going to be a stepping stone in this story to get to the match that WWE sees as being the bigger match, which is Charlotte against Jade Cargill. The only question is, when do we get that match? So are we looking at a situation where the SummerSlam match is Rhea Ripley defending the WWE Women's Championship against Charlotte Flair? Or are they going to save the first Jade Cargill-Charlotte match, not for any titles, but they're going to save that for SummerSlam? Because that would be a big enough match on the undercard if they wanted to do that at SummerSlam. Then you just have to figure out who's challenging Rhea for the championship. Maybe someone like JC Jane goes on to win Queen of the Ring and she wrestles Rhea at SummerSlam, right? Fatal Influence has been getting a decent push since they've been called up. If Charlotte and Rhea is the destination, though, for SummerSlam, then that means Charlotte would have to win Queen of the Ring, because they did clarify tonight. They didn't do this on Monday. Monday, they left it kind of vague. But they did clarify tonight on the show that the winners of the King and Queen of the Ring, as they did last year, would get a championship opportunity at SummerSlam. They didn't say at SummerSlam on Monday, so I was wondering if they were changing that. But now we know it's going to be at SummerSlam, so that's the only thing. You would have to have Charlotte go over and win. Well, I guess not, though. Not necessarily. That's not necessarily true. I'm just thinking of things in terms of SmackDown right now because the Raw Women's Division is just completely fucked, and they don't have anybody obvious outside of Stephanie Vaquer on tap for Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan's basically been a manager for the last month. But I suppose if somebody from the Raw side were to win Queen of the Ring, then they could pretty much do whatever they want on the SmackDown side. So that's not entirely true. But I would say that Charlotte Flair probably is a pretty good candidate to win Queen of the Ring this year. And don't forget also, I forgot to mention, there is a Saturday night's main event coming up in July that's at Madison Square Garden. They could always do a Charlotte Jade match on that show. That would be a big show to do it on also. But as far as the rest of this, again, this was fine with a crowd that made it that much better. So after this, we had Cody Rhodes backstage, and he was being interviewed about his match coming up on Sunday with Gunther when Sami Zayn interrupted. And Sami wanted an apology, demanded an apology for Cody sticking him with the crossroads in their match last week on SmackDown because he felt like that was a knife in his back. He tried to help Cody after Gunther interfered in their match. And Cody, what does he do when Sami turns around? He sticks him with a crossroads. So Cody was in no mood to talk to this man. He is not a fan of Sami Zayn at the moment. And he brought up Sami walking away when the match was over. And Gunther had him in the sleeper hold. And all Sami did was stand there and watch, and he opted to leave instead of help. So he brought that up. Sami said it took everything he had not to help because he's really a good guy. But he realized that the right thing to do was to leave Cody there so he could learn a lesson. And Cody said, all right, well, once he finishes with Gunther, he hoped to be able to teach Sami a lesson. You know, Sami could teach Cody a lesson by costing him the WWE Championship on Sunday. I'm just saying. It's a very real possibility that could very well happen. Elsewhere in the back, Nick Aldis told Danhausen, yes, Danhausen was there. He got a big pop, as he does pretty much everywhere he goes. But he told Danhausen that he was sorry that his science lab equipment could not come with them overseas. They couldn't clear it through customs. But he shouldn't be conducting more experiments after last week. And Danhausen asked Aldis, well, what do you want me to do? So Aldis said he wanted him to appear in front of the crowd that has, he's paid real human money to go in front of. So Danhausen looked like he had some great idea. He ran off, and The Miz walked in, and The Miz is conversing with Nick Aldis. And as this is happening, Danhausen is... he's collecting various items in the background for something. But Miz complained about the liquid limit at customs preventing Kit Wilson from making it into the country because he had too much moisturizer. So Miz wanted Aldis to postpone his match tonight. Aldis didn't buy it. He told Miz, you're up next. And in fact, up next it was The Miz, one-on-one with Axiom, in his home country of Spain, which is the only reason that we saw Axiom here on this show. This is why they took Axiom off the shelf and they blew the dust off, right? We got Toy Story 5 is coming out in a few weeks, right? All the old toys you got to take off the shelf and dust them off. That's what WWE did with Axiom tonight. Let's dust them off. We'll let him come out and play for 1 week. So he got his match here with The Miz. So the lights flickered on and off at different points here during this match. Joe Tessitore was blaming it on the 93-degree heat in Spain and the fact that they've had rolling blackouts. Oh, it must be that. It must be the heat.
It's the amazing Gunther.
Oh, maybe it's Gunther.
Jerry Lawler loves Gunther the Magnificent. All hail Gunther.
Always good to have a Gunther appearance here on the stream. Yes, BD. It's from BD187. A $50 Gunther bomb. Thank you for all you do, Solo, and a big thank you for watching these shows so I don't have to. That's the reason why I do it. I do it so you don't have to. You're welcome. Have you... A little piece of me died there. Have you seen SmackDown over the last few months? Why would you want to watch this show? Right? But you got to keep up with what's going on here, right? You're still a wrestling fan. You still want to watch WWE generally. You want to know generally what's going on, but you just can't stomach sitting there through 3 hours of SmackDown every week. That's why you have me. Thank you, BD. So anyway, all this light flickering, Joe Tessitore thought he's blaming it on this, that, and the other. And Wade Barrett insinuated, no, it has to do with Danhausen. So the crowd was hot for Axiom, as you would expect. Miz went for a skull-crushing finale that got countered. Miz caught him anyway with a DDT for a near fall. Later on, Miz landed a powerbomb, headed to the top rope. And the lights went out again. They came back on. They went out. They came back on. This distracted Miz long enough to allow Axiom to bring him down with an avalanche Spanish fly. And followed that with the golden ratio for the win. Good stuff here. Good stuff here. I thought they had a good match. It was nice to see Axiom get a win, even if it's the only one that he will be getting this year. It was still nice to see. Liz Morgan, huh? No Julia in Italy. Well, they weren't in Italy tonight. And no, she is not on the Clash in Italy card on Sunday. However, I would have to expect that they will find a place for her on the show next week. SmackDown is in Italy next week. Now, if they leave her off SmackDown next week, if they, in 3 hours of SmackDown next Friday, if they cannot find something for Julia, who is part Italian, to do on that show, that is fucked. So I don't know that she's going to have a major role, but yes, I would expect that she would be on SmackDown next week. If she's not on that show, that's completely fucked. So Damian Priest and R-Truth, they were in the back. Truth evidently is still not cleared. He has athletic tape on his shoulder. I'm assuming it's some sort of real injury and he's, legitimately not cleared because he hasn't wrestled in weeks. But they're in the back, and Truth, because he is not medically cleared, tells Priest that he has found a partner for him tonight. And Royce Keys walks in. Now, Priest was not happy about this. He goes, if I'm going to team with anybody, you and me are the tag team champions. It's going to be you. But he also doesn't like Royce Keys. He doesn't trust him. He thinks he's in cahoots with the Mifits, the MFTs. And he asked him, so he doesn't trust him. So Truth asked Priest, are you afraid of the MFTs? He goes, no. He goes, are you afraid of Royce Keys?
It's the amazing Gunther.
Oh, my.
Jerry Lawler loves Gunther, the Magnificent. All hail Gunther.
Can't be afraid of that. Can't be afraid of that at all. Mr. AJ All Day. Dropping another $50 Gunther bomb. Look at this guy. Had to donate twice because I don't donate often, but when I do, I donate to the Solomonster. Thank you again for all you do. Well, AJ, thank you. Thank you for doing what you do. All hail the mighty Gunther. He's getting some play tonight. We're going to wear this guy out. It's okay. We haven't seen him too much lately. It's okay. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. So Truth was basically like, look, you're not afraid of the MFTs. You're not afraid of him, right? Well, then you two guys are going to team. That's it. And then off he went. And Priest chased after him at that point. So that match was coming up a little bit later on in the show. Elsewhere, Sami Zayn was venting to Candice LeRae and said, I feel like you're one of the few people who gets me. And Candice was very touched by this. She thought that he was talking to her. And he said, no, actually, I was talking about him. And the camera panned out, and we see Johnny Gargano laying flat on the dirty floor. He was basically next to a staircase. They were level. Their faces were level. It's not like he was literally looking down at him on the floor. But he's laying on the fucking floor, on the fucking staircase. This is what they flew this man out to Italy to do, by the way. I want somebody to look up the results of some of the recent live events this week. And I don't know if last night was the first one they did, if they've had a few nights. Is Johnny Gargano at least wrestling on the live events? Or is this literally the only thing they flew him out to Italy to do? Is to lay on the floor, on the dirty floor, in a catatonic state. This may be the only thing this man does. Flew all the way to Italy. How long of a flight is that, I wonder, from New York? It's got to be, 8 hours? Probably something like that. It's ridiculous. Matt Cardona showed up in the middle of this and said, things aren't going my way either, but at least I'm not talking to a corpse. And he almost called Sammy a name. He stopped short. This triggered Sammy. It set him off. He goes, I can't tolerate the disrespect any longer. He challenged Cardona to a match tonight, and Cardona said he was going to go talk to Nick Aldis about it. It's honest work. Hey, look, if laying on the floor is going to net him an easy paycheck, then more power to him. I just can't believe this. He's flying literally all over the world to lay on the floor and just stare into space. But he's probably getting paid pretty good, so hey, good for him. Only a matter of time before we get a DIY reunion. You know it's coming. I don't know how much time he's got left on his contract, but it's only a matter of time. Backstage, Charlotte was assisting Alexa Bliss with an ice pack, and then she walked over and confronted or ran into Rhea Ripley. Charlotte made it very clear to Rhea that if Rhea doesn't take care of Jade at Clash in Italy, then she will. She said, Jade's got a receipt coming. We had Damian Priest and Royce Keys against Tama Tonga and Tala Tonga, the brothers of the Mifits. Lillian Garcia, this was the funniest moment of the entire show. As Damian Priest was making his way out to the ring, Lillian Garcia called him Damon Priest. So that is officially his new name now. He is officially Damon Priest. This got more heat than any Damian Priest or MFT's match that we have seen in at least 6 months. As I said at the beginning, God bless the crowd in Barcelona. They were more into this than probably, I would say, the last 2 months of audiences combined when it comes to anything that any of these men have been doing. And I've also realized, I've come to the realization, not that I didn't kind of know this already, but it really hit me tonight. Whenever Damian Priest comes out, this is one of the problems here with Damian Priest, and it's not his fault. His music absolutely fucking sucks. His music, when they hit his music is such a fucking buzzkill when they hit it. It is awful. And that is part of the problem. I think when he comes out, like, you hear it and it's almost, you know, the feeling I get, if you remember when the Big Boss Man came back in the late 90s, he was a heel and he had that heel theme. And like, people would groan when they would hear the beginnings of that theme. I kind of get that same reaction now when I hear Damian Priest music. I sort of groan. And I would say that they need to get him better music, but we know that Death Rebel is still in charge of the music. And so if they gave him a new theme song, it would only be worse. Because we always say, oh, it can't be any worse than this. And then somehow they find a way to make it worse. So I don't know what the solution is here. I really don't. But his music is trash. And that doesn't help. After a break, Tala Tonga and Royce Keys were going at it. He had Keys trapped in the always exciting rest hold. Keys fought out into a sit-down powerbomb on Tama Tonga, and then Priest made the tag in. He ran wild. He dropped Tama with a flatliner. Solo Sikoa got up on the apron. He delivered a Samoan spike to Damian Priest behind the referee's back, which brought out R-Truth to brawl with Solo, who was about to give Truth the spike until Keys came over to put a stop to it. Then Keys got knocked down from behind. Meanwhile, back inside, Tala Tonga gives Damian Priest a big old choke slam, and he pins him to win it for the Mifits. It's a fine little story they're trying to tell here with Damian Priest and Royce Keys. Priest doesn't trust him. Keys doesn't have any love for him. I don't know where this is going to go. Probably a match, but wherever it leads. As a story with those two, it's fine. The problem is this is all tied into the MFT stuff, and I don't give a shit. Like, I just cannot bring myself to care about any of this. So it kind of rubs off on these two guys. Like, when I first saw Royce Keys and Solo Sikoa associating on TV, I was like, ugh. Because now, you know, he's going to be involved with the MFTs for at least a few months, and it's like, I don't know. We go backstage. Miz is threatening to sue Nick Aldis because a lot has happened to The Miz over the last several weeks. He mentioned being nearly blown up by the pyro a few weeks ago. Now the lights are flickering off and on. How is he supposed to wrestle? So Aldis agreed, and he said he would look into this. Miz said, though, we both know who's behind this. And they came upon Danhausen in a makeshift science lab. I guess this is what he was collecting all of that equipment for earlier on. So he was in his little makeshift lab. Miz walked in. He got sprayed again by the white stuff. Yes, the fire extinguisher. He got blown right in the face. And so Miz, he goes off. Aldis walks in. The corpse of Baron Corbin was laying there again on a gurney under a sheet. And Aldis tried to take a peek underneath. And again, Danhausen basically swatted him away and told him, now let me ask you a question here. Okay, we heard before about how Danhausen's science lab, it couldn't clear customs, and Kit Wilson couldn't make it through customs because he had too much moisturizer. How did they get the body into Italy? Can someone explain that to me? It's the same body that was laying underneath, unless Danhausen is just going around killing various people in different cities. I would assume it's the same body underneath. We weren't quite told how the body made it there, unless Danhausen has now created a teleportation machine. He already created a cloning machine. Maybe he's also created one for teleporting as well. After a break, they spent time plugging Tribal Combat at Clash in Italy, and then running down the card. And they said later in the show that they would have highlights of all the goings-on involving Brock Lesnar and Obafemi. So welcome to Friday Night Raw. Yeah, we'll see. Well, we'll see if Tribal Combat even happens, depending on how the injury situation plays out with Jacob Fatu. Chelsea Green, meanwhile, she found Tiffany Stratton, the United States champion, in the back. She said that she was thinking of, for our entrance tonight. And Tiff stopped her and said, look, I'm not coming out with you for your match tonight. But Chelsea was like, what about last week? And Tiffany said, it's not that deep. And Chelsea was heartbroken by this.
I am the learning tree.
As I am heartbroken by that.
Thanks, guys.
Venom Kitetsu, sitting under the learning tree with the $12 super chat. Venom Kitetsu, thank you. You can find bodies anywhere, just a little DIY project. What do you know? That's a little scary. You can technically find bodies anywhere. I mean, they got cemeteries all over the place. You still got to dig them up, though. Most of them are probably bones at this point, but I guess technically that is true. Yeah, Green Peon I think something is going on with the counter for the bonus goals, because this is like the second week in a row now that it's still on 0. And I think it's running, but for whatever reason, it's showing 0 out of 10, and I don't know why that is. That's a YouTube thing. Typical YouTube. YouTube is broken. So yeah, you're not the only one. I noticed the same thing too. I just looked up and saw. Sami Zayn, one-on-one against Matt Cardona. Cardona had control ahead of a commercial break. Coming out of it, though, that was no longer the case. Cardona made a comeback, landed a broski boot in the corner. Sammy avoided a Rough Rider attempt, but not the double underhook powerbomb that followed. There was another Rough Rider attempt that got turned into a powerbomb. Sammy went for a haluva kick. Cardona finally hit the Rough Rider. Sammy got a foot on the bottom rope, though, before the 3 count. Crowd was really into that near fall. Cardona placed Sammy on the top rope. He was looking for something. I don't know what, but Sammy shoved him down. Then came the exploder into the corner, and then the haluva kick finished things off. Sami Zayn picks up the win. Solid match here, and probably the most competitive match that we've seen from Cardona in quite a bit of time. So this was fine. After a break, Nick Aldis was in the back with Gunther and told him to keep things civilized out there with Cody Rhodes. And Gunther said he would go out there and attack Cody verbally. Also, he said if Aldis considers coming back to Spain, maybe consider going to Madrid next time. And the fans in Barcelona didn't like that. Is there a certain rivalry that I'm not aware of between the folks in Barcelona and the folks in Madrid? Because they seemed awfully bothered by that line. I get the sense that there's a lot of tension between those two contingents. Cardona is really just jobbing. Huh? Well, that's his job. Ha, literally. Ha. Yes. That's why he was brought back. He was brought back to job. I don't know why people are shocked by this. I don't think Cardona himself is shocked by this. Nobody should be shocked by this. Trick Williams was out to the ring next with Lil Yachty. Okay, I see all the responses in the chat. Yes. It's a football feud, huh? Soccer. Is that Real Madrid and Barcelona? They don't like each other. Is that like the Mets and the Yankees, or the Yankees and the Red Sox? Trick Williams was out to the ring next with Lil Yachty. Williams said that he was the man holding down the brand for quite some time, and he talked about how he took out The Miz and Carmelo Hayes over the past couple of weeks, and then he called his shot for the King of the Ring, saying it was only right to declare himself here in Barcelona, a place that knew a thing or two about royalty. Carmelo Hayes interrupted and took exception to him considering himself the King of the Ring. A king of the entrance? Sure. A king on the mic? Absolutely. But King of the Ring? Not a chance. He said once he took care of Ricky Saints tonight, he was going to finish what he started with Trick last week. So Ricky Saints interrupted. He said that Williams thought that he would get the upper hand on him last week, but he was going to take care of Trick once he dealt with Carmelo Hayes first. Trick called him a bobblehead and said that when the champ tells you to shut the hell up, you shut the hell up. Saints called him a one-trick pony, told him to take those lemon pepper steppers and step yo ass, and before he could finish what he was going to say, Trick, you know that meme, it's like the Batman and Robin meme, and Batman like just fucking backhands him and slaps the shit out of him. And that's what Trick Williams did to Ricky Saints here. He backhanded him. Backhanded the mic right out of his hand, actually. And then it was time for the next match, which was Carmelo Hayes against Ricky Saints, joined already in progress after a commercial break. So Hayes went for a frog splash. Saints got the knees up, followed by the Northern Lights suplex for a near fall. Hayes came back with a springboard clothesline, but then he got dropped by a reverse DDT. Saints got sent outside. Hayes did a dive out onto him, and then he climbed up to the top of the barricade. And when Ricky got up and turned around, Ricky got dropped with a diving clothesline off the barricade. Both men failed to make it back into the ring, though, before the count of 10. And so both men got counted out, and the fans booed that finish. So did I. Boo! After the match, Saints ambushed Hayes, who came back and dropped him with the first 48. So look, I get it. You know, the finish, it protects both guys so they can run back whatever it is that they're going to run back with them. I hope we get a rematch because this one was good for the time that it lasted. Trick declaring for the King of the Ring is interesting because I cannot envision him winning the King of the Ring. It's just, especially he's got the United States Championship. I don't see him winning King of the Ring. So maybe Ricky tries to cost him. Mello comes out. And the two of them being out there creates some sort of distraction, and that results in Trick losing, which puts more heat in Trick's mind on those two because you two guys just cost me the fucking crown, and then we kind of go from there. Like I can envision some scenario like that playing out here, but we'll see who else is in the tournament. You know, Trick declaring, LA Knight did the same thing on Raw. If we assume it's a typical 8-man tournament, that's 2 of the 8 right there, LA Knight and Trick Williams. And I guess we'll just see next week how they flesh out the rest of this bracket, if we get a bracket, because we know the matches are starting next week. So I would imagine by Monday we're going to have some sort of bracket. They haven't showed that to us yet. We got a new Blake Monroe vignette where she was writing in her diary about the SmackDown women's division, and she singled out Rhea Ripley, and she's coming soon, even though we just saw her for about 15 seconds. Backstage on the show last week, she's still coming soon to SmackDown. Chelsea Green against Nia Jax. Wade Barrett noted that today is Nia Jax's birthday. And during the commercial break here, so if you're watching this on USA, you won't see this, but during the commercial break, Barrett said that Joe Tessitore wasn't invited to her birthday party, adding that Joe likes an early night. And Barrett asked if Tessitore had a siesta earlier. And he goes, a very long one, yes, it's called our production meeting. And Wade had a nice laugh about that. Look at that. Joe Tessitore with the jokes, ladies and gentlemen. So late in the match, Nia hit a Samoan drop. She set Chelsea up for the Annihilator. When Tiffany Stratton's music played, she said that she wouldn't be there. She lied. And so Jax tells Lash Legend to go get her, basically. Go focus on her. Now, Lash, for whatever reason, is standing up on the apron. Because Lash is on the apron, the referee comes over and is telling her, get off the apron. So the fucking referee's got his back turned. So Lash is distracted, looking at the aisleway. The referee is distracted. Nia's distracted, even though she's on the rope. She's looking behind her, and she doesn't see that Tiffany Stratton, it's all a diversion. Tiffany Stratton shows up at ringside. She whacks Nia with her women's championship belt. She knocks Nia backwards down onto the mat because the dumb referee is distracted, and Chelsea Green crawls over to cover Nia for the 3 count. After the match, Chelsea was so happy, and she goes over because Tiffany's standing over now by the aisleway. And so Chelsea walks over and she goes to hug Tiffany, but before she could even get to her, Tiffany just leaves. She walks away. And instead, Chelsea just looks back at the ring and she laughs. I'm all here for the Chelsea Green babyface run. I'm here for it. I'm here for any sort of Chelsea Green push that may potentially push her into a more serious role, which I could see at the end of all this, because I'm looking at this. And where I would like to see this go, they continue to, drag this out for a while. Tiffany doesn't want to be friends with her. Tiffany doesn't really want to have anything to do with her. And eventually they come together in some way, right? So this goes on for a little while. Once that happens, I want to see Tiffany Stratton turn on Chelsea Green, because I still believe that Tiffany is a better heel than a babyface. I still feel like she is miscast as a babyface, and she should be a heel. And if they do it this way, at the end of all this, Tiffany could go heel, and it just makes Chelsea Green that much more of a babyface. And it sets her up then to challenge Tiffany for the women's championship. And that's a direction that I could get behind that. So I think if they play their cards right, this could be one way to really elevate Chelsea to that next level, to where she wouldn't just be like a comedy character. She'd have to be taken a little more seriously. But just to throw it back in Michael Hayes' face, because Chelsea Green, I've always believed, that Chelsea Green does have the ability to be a top player in the division. She would have to be a little more serious. I'm not saying she would have to be stone cold serious, but she would have to sort of adjust or tweak the character a little bit to make it a little more serious as like a top contender. But she could be in that mix. Whether he or other people believe in that or not, I do. I believe in that. And so this could be one way to get there. And then Cody Rhodes was out to the ring for the closing segment. We've already reached, if you can believe it, the main event of this show. I told you, this is a very nothing show. If you missed SmackDown, you did not miss much. But we came to what I thought was maybe the best segment on the show, honestly. Or one of the best ones. Cody Rhodes came out to the ring for his face-to-face with the ring general, Gunther, for their match on Sunday at Clash in Italy. And he spoke some Spanish to the fans in Barcelona before Gunther's music interrupted, and he made his way down to the ring in his dress shirt, very casual Friday here for Gunther. So Gunther said that he's still pretty new to SmackDown, but there's one thing that he has figured out pretty quickly, which is that everything has to be about Cody. And if it's not, he'll find a way to make it about himself. He said, how fitting that he's the American nightmare, since Cody is the perfect symbol of the crumbling American dream. As he was talking about this, in that accent, as he was talking, if you close your eyes, you would swear you were listening to Ludwig Borga. This was for 5 seconds there, this felt like it turned into a Ludwig Borga promo. Typical Americans. You live in garbage and filth. I don't know what accent. It's not a Finnish accent, but so we got a little Borga here from Gunther. And he said, as a young boy, I was taught that if you want to get ahead, you have to leave and go to America. And he's done that. He's earned the position that he's in, whereas with Cody, everything was just one phone call away. He wanted to train to become a pro wrestler. One phone call. He wanted a contract with WWE. One phone call. He left and wanted to come back to WWE. Probably just took one phone call, which makes him an entitled brat. Because the two of them are nothing alike. Cody can't help himself. He's got to be the center of attention. He said that he's got to fuel that ego with the fans' approval and the office's approval. And everybody has to just sort of bow down to the Golden Boy, as Sami Zayn has been saying. Sami Zayn's been calling Cody the Golden Boy. Everyone's picking on Cody in these promos. They're calling him conceited. He's full of himself. If that were true, then why is Cody not a heel? If he's so up his own ass. All the heels seem to be aligned in one thing, that Cody Rhodes is the biggest Cody Rhodes fan, which is what Gunther said here in this promo. He said that all of that doesn't matter to him. What matters, and by the way, the fans were clapping for him as he was saying this. He said, all of that stuff doesn't matter to me. You know what matters to me? Being the best pro wrestler in the company and protecting this sacred sport from people like you. And he was being cheered for this. Because the only thing that Cody cares about is Cody Rhodes. Cody's biggest fan is Cody Rhodes. He goes, you're a mark for yourself. So Cody finally interjected, and he had to clarify for the crowd. He goes, a mark for myself. Well, that means a fan. Just for the people out there who don't know what that means. He called Gunther a liar because every kid grows up wanting to be the champion and not wanting the attention, right? Said the third-party appearances, the talk shows, the fans singing every single word of your theme song, you don't want that? He knows Gunther wants it because otherwise he'd be talking to a 330-pound version of himself right now at an indie show. He held up the title and he said, this is addictive. And Gunther is just as sick as he is. And at Clash in Italy, Gunther is going to get this close to finding out all that attention that you desperately seek. But you're going to find out you're not that good. And then he hit him with his, I'm easy to find, hard to beat. Which I just, every time he says that line, I just cringe a little bit. He's really going all in on that catchphrase. I'm easy to find. It sounds like some sort of like straight to video old Steven Seagal movie from the 90s. He's easy to find, but he's hard to beat. Rated R. So he hit him with the line. Cody went to go leave. Gunther spun him around. We got the tight shot face to face here with these two. Nose to nose. Gunther asked him, you think I'm a liar? He promised Bill Goldberg that he would choke him out, and he did. And that got no reaction. I mentioned that because he then said, I promised that AJ Styles would get choked out. And he was. And that the people booed. As soon as he mentioned AJ Styles and what he had done to AJ, the people didn't like that very much. And they booed. And then they booed louder when he said that he promised Cody's big role model and hero that he would make him tap out. And he did. And now he's promising Cody that on Sunday he's going to choke him out. And he's going to drop him like a wet towel. He's going to take his precious prize with him. And Gunther left. And that is how SmackDown closed, with Cody looking very frustrated in the ring, contemplating the words that Gunther just said to him. Gunther making a promise. He makes a guarantee. I think that's meaningful right there. Because he's right. Everything he said he was going to do, he's done. Goldberg, Cena, AJ, doesn't matter. He's done every single thing he said he was going to do. I think we're getting a title change on Sunday. The fact that they're opening with this match, first match in the first hour on ESPN, instead of closing the show with it, I thought about changing my prediction. I'm a little less sure of it now than I was a week ago, but I'm sticking with it. I think if there's a title change, I think it's going to be here. I think we're going to end up with a new WWE champion. Could Sami Zayn get involved? Sure. Could Drew McIntyre get involved? He just wrapped up filming for the new Highlander movie. Sure. I think if Drew was to show up, though, it actually would make more sense for him to get involved in the other title match. Because the last person that he was beefing with and he lost to at WrestleMania happens to be challenging for the other title in the main event. But could that happen? Sure. Could Randy Orton show up as a surprise and drop both these guys with an RKO and we end up with no winner? Sure. Although that would be fucking lame if they did that. So, I mean, somebody getting involved, if it was going to be anybody, it would be one of those three. Could that happen? Sure. But I still say they give the ESPN audience their first WWE title change. And maybe that factors into it. Maybe the reason they're opening the show with it is because they want to do a title change on ESPN and kind of make news and make headlines. I wouldn't discount that as a possibility. I thought that it was an effective go-home segment, not an effective go-home show. It was an effective closing segment for Cody and Gunther. Instead of having your prototypical pull-apart brawl, which is so fucking played out, they went, the dueling promo route with it, and I thought it was good. I thought the back and forth between them was good. Not a very effective show otherwise. The Rhea and Jade stuff just isn't very exciting. All the other matches in the card on Sunday are Raw matches, 2 of which are now in jeopardy because of potential injuries. But outside of the ending, I mean, we did get a couple of solid matches out of things. Not much else to write home about. It was pretty much outside of the Barcelona crowd, which was very live and active for the show. It was your prototypical SmackDown, where you just kind of struggle to get through the 3 hours. You're basically watching a 2-hour show that is stretched out to 3 hours, that is not very interesting at all. And you kind of cherry pick maybe a couple of things that you like, and you struggle to find anything beyond that. That was SmackDown from Barcelona. That was the show. Now, I mentioned Clash in Italy. Clash in Italy is coming up on Sunday. Just to keep you guys updated on the weekend plans here, I'm going to be dropping a brand new episode of The Sound Off, episode 965. That's going to be dropping tomorrow, not Sunday. Later in the day tomorrow, because on Sunday we have this show right here, and that's at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll be live with the Clash in Italy review, probably same time I went live tonight. So I won't be live immediately after. I'll do dinner first and then get ready. And about 8 p.m. Eastern figure is when I will be live on YouTube for the Clash in Italy review. So hopefully you guys will join me then. So you technically get 2 podcasts this weekend. There you go. And we'll see what changes may end up having to be made to the card. Hopefully Sol Ruca is not legitimately injured. Hopefully Jacob Fatu's injury, which is legitimate, and it is said to be a back injury, is not so serious that he's not able to go. It could affect the match. It could affect what he is and is not able to do in the match. Maybe they're making contingency plans for that. Maybe the Usos will be involved in some way. I don't know. But hopefully he's good to go. I mean, this is a big spot for Jacob to be in. I don't think he's winning the title, but there's a possibility he might. And it would really suck if they're planning on a title change and that goes out the window now because the guy's hurt. I don't want to see that happen. So hopefully he ends up being okay. Solo going live during the Champions League final. No one cares about that. I mean, come on, man. They care about my Clash in Italy review. What are you, crazy? Solo just ran through the whole show in an hour, and we still have 2 more hours of SmackDown. Well, if that doesn't tell you, I mean, does that not say it all? That I was able to fucking zip through this review in 57 minutes? And all you suckers that are watching the show right now have 2 more hours of this shit to sit through? I tell you, every single week, that's what SmackDown is. You factor in the commercials and everything, they're just killing time. You're watching a show that as you're watching it, it just feels like they're trying to kill time. That makes for a very boring television show. You got some good wrestling on there, though. You at least got a couple of good matches out of it, so it wasn't a total loss. Will I be doing an Italian accent for the Clash in Italy review? No, I will not. I will not. I will not have my big bowl of pasta sitting here as I'm doing the review, right? Put the noodles around the fork. Eat my pasta dish as I do the review. That will not be happening. It's get to your super chats. Oh, man. Where are they? There they are. There they are. Yeah. Anobi says it's literally an hour of actual content and the rest is filler and ads. That's basically SmackDown. And people think I'm crazy. Like, oh, how can you say that the show needs to be 2 hours? Then people won't be able to get airtime on the show. You're gonna kill the mid card because the show needs to be 3 hours. And I weep every time I hear that because it's people who I think by and large grew up on the WWE product over the last decade, believing that 3 hours of Raw is the norm. And the show can't be any less than that. 3 hours of SmackDown is the norm. The show can't be any less than that. And it's sad. You know, they don't... It just... The thought doesn't really occur to them that you can have a coherent, good wrestling program with the right creative, of course, even at 2 hours. And I understand the roster maybe a little bit bigger than it used to be, but it's still a roster split, kind of. I mean, they divided into Raw and SmackDown, so the roster is bigger, but it ain't that much bigger. Let's be honest. No weekly wrestling show needs to be 3 hours outside of like the odd special. That's how it used to be. When Raw would go 3 hours, it was for like a special event. They used to have King of the Ring on Raw. So it would be a 3 hour special. Or Raw Roulette. It would be a 3 hour show. Okay, fine. But once it became a weekly thing, I mean, that just killed it. Joseph Stewart is with us. Joseph Stewart is celebrating his Italian roots. Says, happy Friday, Solomonster. Do you think Casino has one of the best movie opening credits? Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's one of my favorite movies, actually. But I can't put it above Goodfellas. If you force me to like rank Goodfellas and Casino, I gotta give the edge to Goodfellas. Did you know Christopher from Sopranos was in Goodfellas? He was the guy that got his foot shot by Joe Pesci. I did know that. Michael Imperioli. Were you a fan of Frank Vincent, who played Phil Leotardo on The Sopranos? He was in Raging Bull, Goodfellas, Casino, and Copland. Copland is one that I never saw. I really need to see that. I heard Stallone's really good in that. He put on like 50 pounds for it, didn't he? Yes, I'm a big fan of Frank Vincent. Phil Leotardo, man. 20 fucking years that guy did. Yeah. Jizzed into a tissue, I believe. Ate grilled cheese off the radiator. That's what he said. Would you like to see a Soprano prequel show with Michael Gandolfini as young? I think we need to just put the Sopranos to bed. I would have been down for some sort of sequel. You know, if James Gandolfini was still alive, even though you know it would be kind of impossible because we all know what really happened at the end of the finale. But with him gone, it just you know my appetite for anything new like Sopranos related basically died. He was the show. Without him, there is no Sopranos, prequel or otherwise. I don't really have an interest in that. Says, happy birthday to LaToya Jackson. Interesting. And to Annette Benning. Buy or sell? Johnny Boy Soprano or Junior Soprano? Oh, Junior, of course. Uncle June. Did you know movies like The Public Enemy and Godfather and Goodfellas and A Bronx Tale influenced The Soprano? I'm sure a lot of those things influenced The Sopranos. I'm not surprised by that at all. That does not surprise me in the least. That guy was an interior decorator. His house looked like shit. So great. Do you remember the store Media Play from the 1990s? It sold movies, music, and books. Media Play? No. They didn't. I don't know if they had them in New York. I never heard of Media Play before. No, can't say that I know of it. If you were asked to do a Sopranos prequel TV show, how would you have written Tony Soprano's Rise? I wouldn't have. That's not my job. I leave that to the television writers to do that. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Next week, Masters of the Universe comes out at theaters. Yes. I don't know when I'm going to be able to see it. Probably not next week, but I do want to see it. It says, in the month of June, Papa John's is going to turn into Pizza Planet in celebration for Toy Story 5. That's pretty cool. Favorite Toy Story characters? I'm all about Buzz Lightyear. Buzz is my guy. And Mr. Potato Head. Buzz and Mr. Potato Head. Yeah, I'm hearing that tracking for Toy Story 5 is it could do up to $150 million domestically in its opening weekend, which would be far more than any of the other movies have done. I'm trying to think of another movie franchise that has gone on as long as Toy Story, that each new one that came out did progressively better business than the one that came before it. That's unheard of. It just does. It's not supposed to happen that way. At this rate, we're going to go all the way to Toy Story 10 or 15 if it keeps doing numbers like this. Am I going to see Toy Story 5? Yes, I will. I saw the first 4. You know, there were people in the theater. I wasn't one of them, but there were people in the theater who were fucking weeping during Toy Story 4. It tugs at the heartstrings, man. When you can get a cartoon to make you cry during a movie, you're doing something right. I can imagine all the people in the theater back in the day that were weeping when Bambi's mom got shot. Or during The Lion King, when Simba's father was killed. Have you seen the Kurt Russell movie Big Trouble in Little China? Yes, I have. Have you seen the new Masters of the Universe movie posters? I have not. Did you know Robert De Niro directed the movie that he started in, A Bronx Tale? That I did know. Also, Gandolfini won 3 Emmy Awards and a bunch of screen out. He won a lot of awards for Tony Soprano. It was the role of a lifetime that he had. He was fucking great. And I know Larry Hagman was a big fan of The Sopranos. How do you know this? How do you know this? How do you have all of this knowledge? How do you know that Larry Hagman was a big Tony Soprano fan? The buy or sell here, I already answered that one. The answer is Goodfellas. Man, Joseph, bringing the heat here, man. Buy or sell, Pulp Fiction or Reservoir Dogs? Pulp Fiction. Gotta go Pulp Fiction. Have I seen Jackie Brown with Pam Grier? Yes, I have. Have a good night, Solomonster, and a blessed and safe day and a wonderful weekend. Thank you, Joseph. You too, my friend. Never change. Nico Samuel says, hey, Solo, hope you're feeling better. Thank you, Nico. I appreciate that. I am not, but slowly but surely we're getting there. We got a message here from Nico who says, is there a city or country that you would like to go for vacation? And how long would you stay there for? Yes, I'm sure there is something out there that I would, some trip I would love to take. I don't know exactly where that is going to end up being, though. I haven't figured that out yet. How long would I'd love to move there. I'd love to go there and never come back. I keep hearing nice things about Greece. I've never been to Europe, but Greece, I've heard good things about Greece. I've heard good things about Switzerland, Sweden, someplace like that. Tokyo. Tokyo's one of those places, like Japan is on my bucket list. I don't know that I'll ever make it there. The thought of a 15-hour flight makes me want to vomit. But I would love to one day go there. Is there a city or country that you would like to see House of Glory visit? Well, if House of Glory ever goes to Greece or Switzerland, I guess I'll get to kill two birds with one stone now, won't I? Actually, we're kind of talking about a potential HOG show in the near future somewhere that I think is pretty cool. We'll see if it pans out. I was talking to Brian about it last week. We'll see if it pans out. I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but I think a lot of people would be very excited if we can make this announcement. Do you have a favorite John Woo movie? No. I hear he has a pretty mean dropkick, though. Barry MK 400 with the news of WWE being shocked at how well the Vault on YouTube is doing. Can that be a good sign of them posting more old shows? You would fucking think so. They take their sweet time. That's the hope. But I don't think they're in any rush to really put everything out. I think they just love the whole slow roll strategy. Otherwise, they're just going to run out of things to post. This way, they could just post, like, infinitely for years and never run out of stuff to post. Nico says, Team Sleep. And how was Backrooms? Well, I have a very short review on my Letterboxd account. If you go follow me on there, but I enjoyed it. It was not as good as Obsession. I feel like Obsession has sort of ruined all movies for me now for the next few months. I just feel like there's not going to be one that's going to be as good as that one. It was good, though. It was good. I'm in that 3.5 to 4 star range for Backrooms. Obsession gets the full 5, though, from me. JM says, if Jacob can't go on Sunday, have Braun replace him. You can't do that, though. You can't just... what purpose would that serve? Just stick in a random person, and you may as well have an open challenge at that point. As if we need more of those. Mr. AJ All Day, again with that $50 Gunther bomb. AJ, I salute you, sir. Thank you very much. John Sterniker, top females on the mic. Give me Stephanie McMahon. Trying to think like today in the modern day. I think Tekla would be pretty high up on that list. I like a good Tekla promo. In WWE though, when it comes to the women on the mic, Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan is pretty good on the mic. It's a pretty thin list right now, I gotta say. Yeah. We got Super Pony. What happens to the Cody Randy feud if Gunther wins? What is all the Sammy stuff leading to? It seems like they don't even know. Seems like a mess to me. I mean, Cody and Randy could pick up their feud at some point with no title on the line. It just becomes personal between the two of them. I mean, it's a feud that doesn't necessarily need the championship. Venom Kitetsu, thank you for the 25 Brie mode. Hope that's a hot toddy in the Mugton. I wish. I wish. Hope you're on the up. Have you heard a Perfect Circle's new single, Starless? I have not. No. I've not heard that. Becky. Yeah, I guess. Forgot about Becky. Yeah, Becky. Becky would be the one. And there he is again. Mr. AJ all day. 2 Gunther bombs equals $100 on the night. Thank you, brother. Much appreciated. Venom Katetsu again with the 12. You should walk out to across 110th Street at an HOG show one of these days. Also, maybe bring Hog to Reno, Nevada someday. Got to be cheaper arrangement than Vegas at this point. I feel like it's got to be someplace that, you know, wrestling fans can easily access, or it's a hotbed for wrestling. I don't know if Reno would qualify. Can't rule it out. There's a lot of different locations that are on the table. I mean, there's probably five of them right now. We're just trying to figure out the calendar. There's one city in particular that a lot of people are always bringing up. I assure you, it is on the list. I don't know when it's going to happen. It is on the list, though. So some of you can figure it out, because I get a lot of messages about it. And actually, that is a city rich in wrestling history. We'll be there. We'll be there someday. Alexander says it's a crime that Ilya Dragunov is MIA. Not true. I saw the latest photo that Natty posted from one of her dungeon training sessions, and there he was. He's been in a bunch of them recently. Him and his girlfriend. She's also a wrestler. I forgot her name. Give me backshot Solomonster. No. $1.99. If Knicks win the finals, will you let me hug you? No. No. But we could do like a kind of like a virtual high five kind of thing. I'll just make sure I'm wearing a glove. We could do that. How's that? Sean D, but for real, who is Gunther to say this? He loses less than Raheem. Gunther's booking is even more preferential. I get some don't like Cody, but come on. I don't think it's about the booking. I think it's about the character. Like, you're talking about what he was saying in his promo tonight. He was talking about how he's all about the pro wrestling. He's all about the mat. The mat is sacred to him. It has nothing to do with his push or how many matches he wins or loses. Do you remember the Wrestle Rock Rumble? Not only do I remember the Wrestle Rock Rumble, I'll tell you a little story. I went to go lay down the other night to go to bed, and I put on the YouTube app on my TV because I wanted to see if there were any marathons, watch parties going on the WWE Vault channel, and they have one that I believe is still active right now. It's like an all 80s. Oh, I was like, oh, I was in heaven. The all 80s like watch party. And so I put it on, and it really is just a complete mishmash of not just WWE 90 or 80 stuff, but just all wrestling. I lay down, half asleep, and what happens to be on, or actually just going on in this marathon? The Wrestle Rock Rumble music video. I felt like I was in the middle of a fever dream. They show Kurt Hennig and Scott Hall and their little Speedos coming up out of the pool. They show Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty in the studio laying down some beats. All these other people that are trying to sing and they're completely off key. Fucking Greg Gagne. It's just fucking awful, dude. It's so awful. But you can't look away. It's one of those so bad it's good kind of things. Dry Chicken says, I would send Triple H and WWE Creative some Italian bread and chicken Alfredo, meat lasagna, and some special sauce to clean their insides. Praise the Lord that Vince McMahon is not around. If he was promoting Clash in Italy, he would definitely, I guess that means have a picture of himself with the Pope. Yeah, I mean, we don't need to talk about Vince McMahon. The less said about him, the better. And Super Pony, Cody Randy kind of does need the title. That's why Randy turned on him. Why would he continue to go after Cody without the title? Because he doesn't like Cody and Cody doesn't like him. It doesn't need the title, dude. Like, it's, yes, it works better with the title. It does not need the title. You can do it without the title. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. If they want to take the title off Cody, put it on Gunther and have him feud with somebody else and get Cody out of the title picture for 6 months, I ain't going to fucking argue it. And it doesn't mean that you can't do Cody and Randy. Randy could be like, all right, I got to wrap this up and then I'm going after the belt. And Cody's like, no, I'm going after the belt. It could be a feud over who gets to go after the belt next. That could be the connection to the belt. But it does not need the championship. It might work better that way, but I disagree. It does not need the championship. Have I had a chance to talk about the new shareholder lawsuit developments? I will on the Sound Off tomorrow. So if you tune in, you'll hear me talking about that. Some big developments on that front. Now, the likes goal per the wheel was, as you can see here, 500. And we are currently at 450. However, the bonus goal counter is clearly broken. And I don't know if we've hit it or not. I feel like we might have. But because it's broken and I can't tell, you're going to get Be the Booker anyway. Because YouTube is broken. And that's not the accurate number of super chats reflected, so I have no fucking idea. So we're going to do Be the Booker anyway. You can thank YouTube and its broken system here. You're getting a free round of Be the Booker, so here we go. And apparently we get no music. Until I turn it on.
It is now time to Be the Booker.
Oh, me. Oh, me. Green Pianist, you'll be tuning in on Saturday tomorrow. Saturday. The Sound Off is out a day early because this PLE is fucking up my schedule on Sunday. Hopefully not too late. Unfortunately, it means I'm not going to be able to talk about the AAA show. So I am going to watch the AAA show, or at least the main event, the big mask versus mask match tomorrow. It's El Grande Americano Uno against El Grande Americano Dos. But I'm sure the Sound Off will be out before then, so I don't know. Maybe I'll chime in. I'll talk about it on the Uncrowned Wrestling Show on Tuesday. How about that? All right, here we go. Tag Team Be the Booker. We have the APA. Farouk and Bradshaw. These guys don't fuck around. No, sir. They are going to be taking on Brett and Owen Hart. Man, I don't know if Brett's a big fan of JBL. He's not a fan of guys that go in there and intentionally hurt other people. It's not what wrestling is supposed to be. Still, my all-time favorite story, though, is Joey Styles just punching the fucking crap out of JBL overseas on one of the Middle East tours. It's one of the great all-time wrestling stories. Joey Styles had enough of his shit, and he punched the bully right in his fucking face. That's so great. I love it. I love a good story with a happy ending. Women's Be the Booker. Yeah, we had the question before of great female wrestling promos. Let's see. I think we're going to land on two really good, great promo women here tonight. Let's see what kind of promos we're going to get. Well, naturally I would say that, and we would land on the one woman who probably isn't all of the Be the Booker options, who doesn't fucking speak. Kind of hard to cut a promo when you don't talk. We have Nikki Cross from the Wyatt Six. She doesn't speak. How is she going to cut promos if she does not speak? She doesn't wrestle either. Now, she's a wonderful promo. She's also, by the way, now one of the owners of Progress Wrestling. That's another story that I'm going to be talking about on the Sound Off tomorrow. Well, we know she won't be cutting the promos. Maybe her opponent will. Julia Hart. That is a terrible, horrendous promo battle between those two. Terrible. We have to do better in this main event. We need a couple of really good promo. Let's pretend the main event tonight is going to be a promo battle. Let's do that. let's do that. And while I do that, because we're at 474, you guys are inching your way closer to the likes goal. We may get another round to be the booker if you get that up high enough. But let's pretend that this main event is a promo battle, okay? I'm going to be spitting fire on the mic here. Oh, well, I mean, come on now. This match is over. This match is fucking over right now. Are you kidding me? One of the great talkers of all time. The Rock. The Rock. I feel bad for his opponent, man. How are you going to beat that? How are you going to beat that? In a promo battle? Oh, yeah. I mean, it's over. It's over. That'd actually be a great match. But, I mean, this is a no contest here. Are you kidding me? Pac? Pac is a promo? Pac's another one, like in AEW right now with his current character. He doesn't speak. He just kind of stares very intensely at you. He judges you. But he rarely speaks. Be a good. I think it'd be a good wrestling match, though. I do think that would make for a good match. Let's see. What other super chats do we have here? ASU Amy. Asuka built her own private gaming center at home in Japan. It's literally like a house for arcade games. Probably why she wanted to go home. I saw the video. Those are some big arcades, too. You know what really has me jealous? One of the arcades that she had installed in her gaming room is it's a dual machine of Mario Kart 2. So you can sit, it's like two seats next to each other with steering wheels, and you can play Mario Kart arcade style. How cool is that? You play against somebody else. Super Pony, I need double B the booker. Totally not stalling. Well, I mean, 500 was the goal, and we're at 485, so we're not there yet. Dev to Dust, the Jets are going to win the Super Bowl. Sure. Dev to Dust with the $2 super chat. How much angel dust has Dev to Dust inhaled during this stream to come up with that super chat? A little too much pixie dust tonight, my friend. Super Pony, the Colts are going to win the Super Bowl. And, Joseph is back. Oh, my God. Joseph says, hello, Solomonster. I want to let you know that I'm watching A Bronx Tale for my Friday night movie. I kind of figured it was going to be one of the half dozen movies that you mentioned tonight. See, he's got the Friday night movie ritual, which I think is kind of cool that he's got like a movie night. I figured it was going to be some combination of either A Bronx Tale, Casino, or Goodfellas. It was going to be one of those. And he says, have a great weekend and good night, Solomonster. Good night, Joseph. Thank you, brother. Oh, he sent one before that, though. Have you played the Sopranos PlayStation 2 video game? I did not know there was even a Sopranos video game. I had no idea that they made a video game. Huh. I can't say. I don't even know. Maybe somebody else. You know, I wonder that. No, actually, I don't have that. PS2, he said, right? I have my retro gaming console, the handheld, the Miu Mini Plus. And it's got PlayStation games on there. It goes as high as PlayStation. Otherwise, it's all like Atari, Nintendo, Genesis, 32X, all that stuff. I don't think it has PS2 games, though. Damn. You know, one of my favorite PlayStation games used to be this game called Driver. I used to really enjoy Driver. They have a few Law and Order games. Where are these video games coming from that I've never heard? They made Law and Order video games? Yeah, but that sounds boring, though. It's like, what do you do in the game? Like, so is the first half of the game you're a cop, and the second half of the game you're the prosecutor? How does that work? Dry Chicken, The Rock will not show up at Clash in Italy. Instead, he'll enjoy an Italian dinner and party. Yeah, he ain't showing up at any of these PLEs. I got news for you. Dev to Dust, have you ever taken the Pacer test in grade school? I don't know what that is. So I guess the answer is no. I have not taken the Pacer test. Does that make me a bad student? Every popular show during the PS2 era had a video game. I don't think that's true. I don't believe they ever made a Shield video game. And the Shield is one of the greatest television shows ever made. The PS2 era. So what era? I'm trying to think, like, what era would that envelop? That means there was a Beverly Hills 90210 game? Was there a Melrose Place video game that I was unaware of? They probably should have made them, too. They probably would have made a fucking fortune off those games. Is there a Dawson's Creek video game? Oh, man. Home Improvement on the SNES. Or Wilson's face is only like partially... It's partially obscured by the picket fence. The goal is to get Wilson to completely reveal himself, his entire face. A Seinfeld game would have been hilarious. You know what? That could have worked. I think that could have worked. We got O to the J, 84. Since Reno was brought up, I saw Hogan defend the WCW title against Bret Hart in Reno in 1999 at a house show before Bret returned to TV after Owen passed. Well, that's a rare one. There were a few times they had live event matches. I know one of them, there's definitely fan cam video of it. They had a live event match in LA. I think about how rare Hogan working a house show was. So I didn't know they had one in Reno, though. Super Pony, how sad are you that Tom Brady did not appear at WrestleMania? Could not give a shit. Nico Samuel, I agree with what you said about the Sopranos franchise. No James Gandolfini, no Soprano. Yeah, it just doesn't work. He was the show. You know, he was the heart of the show. Without him, I have no interest. Super Pony, are you ready for the Halloween game in September? Is that when it comes out? Yeah, I actually am looking forward to that one. If they have it for Steam to play on PC, I may have to pick that one up. I'll wait for the reviews, though. I want to see like how the gameplay is and everything. By the way, how are all of the Knicks fans coping with the news of Mitchell Robinson's broken pinky? Is this a bad omen? Is this a bad omen for next week? Dev to Dust, the Mets will win a championship before the Jets. Somehow I feel like the two of them will just sort of cancel each other out. They'll be mutually cursed. And they will never win another championship in our lifetime. Well, we did hit the goal. We did hit the likes goal, so that's good. Because now you get another round of Be the Booker. So back we go. No. Back we go. Back we go, which means we get stipulations now. Dry Chicken says, buy a gold chain for the stream on Sunday. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going anywhere before Sunday. I'm trying to heal up and get better and feel better and get my shit done because I got a show to do tomorrow. Because of Clash in Italy, I have a podcast to do tomorrow, so my Saturday is gone. Thank you, WWE. My Saturday and my Sunday are gone. All right, here we go. Hardcore match. Pretty basic. Pretty self-explanatory, I would say. We got a hardcore tag team match to book. So let's do it. Oh, this is right up their alley. Public Enemy. They know a thing or two about hardcore matches. I would say so. They are going to be taking on the Kings of Wrestling, Chris Hero and Claudio Castagnoli. They were great. It's such a sin that they couldn't tag up in WWE. It's too bad. They definitely would have won some tag team titles in WWE. All right, our women's match. Oh, look at this. For our women's match. Oh, this is right up his alley. He's always hanging out with the women anyway. CM Punk is going to be the special referee for the ladies' match. You know, back in the day, he was quite the player on that roster. I think he dated pretty much every diva that WWE had. Right? He was with Maria. He was with Lita. He was with AJ, obviously. I think he was he with Beth? God, he was with like fucking 5 different women, I think, on that roster. He was playing the field. CM Punk is the referee. Tessa Blanchard will be on one side of the ring. And on the other, choose 4 women and book a tag team match. Oh, Punk is getting very excited now. More women for him. All right, well, we got a women's tag team match to book. Tessa Blanchard is 1. So we have to pick 3 more. Who is going to be Tessa's partner? Let's find out. Tessa and Bird Girl. Lyra Valkyria. She just got herself a new tag team partner. Her name is Tessa Blanchard. They will be taking on the team of Chelsea Green. Oh, man, it would be perfect if it was Tiffany Stratton, right? We could put them together as a tag team before WWE does. Chelsea Green and Jordynne Grace. What the fuck happened to Jordynne Grace? She just got her pilot's license. I mean, that's great. I thought she was a wrestler. I mean, maybe I was wrong. I don't know. Does she wrestle anymore? Is she officially a pilot now? Because the women's division sure could use somebody like her right now. Let's go to our men's match. See what we're dealing with here. We are going to end appropriately with an exploding barbed wire death match. Well, I wouldn't want to be in this match. Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston. You know, soon Kofi will be in AEW, and he may well end up in an exploding barbed wire death match. You know he would love to get Brock in there just to get revenge. It should be Brock. Instead, he gets Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre and Kofi Kingston in an exploding barbed wire death match. There you go. There's your sweep. I don't like Kofi's chances. Not good. Not looking too good. Hey, there's Uncle Saudi joining us tonight. You got your sweep. It took the bonus round to get there, but you got your clean sweep. We got Fiji Finesser. Prepare your bunker for the Knicks winning game 1. I think it's very important to get the momentum right out of the gate. Very important for them to win that first game. Set the tone for the entire series. And Dry Chicken. Claudio and Chris Hero against Public Enemy. The winner gets to enjoy a private yacht with Italian supermodels. Claudio and Chris Hero against Public Enemy actually would have been a good match. I'm glad I booked it. And I'm glad all of you joined me here for the SmackDown review. See, SmackDown is only halfway done at this point. It is still in progress, but now I got you through, right? Now you're all caught up on everything that happened. We had a little bit of fun. See, the beauty of the Friday night streams. And now we're done. Instead of me having to first go live at 11:30 to talk about a dead show. I don't mind these European shows. They're fine with me. But again, tomorrow, I will be dropping a brand new episode of The Sound Off. I don't know when, probably later in the afternoon, but just keep an eye out for it because it's coming. That'll be tomorrow. Then you got the AAA show tomorrow night with El Grande Americano against El Grande Americano. And then coming up on Sunday is Clash in Italy. I will be live for that. I will be live for that at around 8 o'clock. So what we did tonight is basically what I am planning on doing on Sunday. Probably about 8 p.m. Eastern or so. I will go live with the full PLE recap. And that will cap off a very busy weekend. And then I will take a day off. I'm just kidding. Psych. Now, Monday is all-day prep, basically, for the Uncrowned Wrestling show, and then a Raw stream on Monday night. And then we have the Uncrowned show on Tuesday. There'll be a brand new TNT on Tuesday night. We have Dynamite on Wednesday. Oh, me. Super Pony, just so Knicks fans know, if Tyrese Halliburton was healthy, they would not be where they are. I don't know. This is a different kind of team this year, man. They seem like they're a team possessed. I don't think that even Halliburton would be able to stop this team. I think this year it would be Halliburton with the choke job. But I guess we'll never know. Be well. Stay safe. Have yourselves a great rest of your night. And don't forget, Sound Off tomorrow. And then I will see you back here live. Live. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yes. Eric, thank you. Raw. That's right. Thank you for bringing that up. Raw on Monday. You don't need a VPN for this. It'll be 2 p.m. Eastern on Netflix. So Raw on Monday will be the same as SmackDown today. Earlier stream, 8 p.m. or so. Thank you for reminding me about that. I forgot about that. See, if you didn't know, now you know. Have a good night, guys.